Welcome to Monday evening. I did not, whoa, why is that, oh man. I hate it when I screw up the bobbins. I did not get as far as I wanted to with the Pokemon quilts. So it looks like this stream is going to be a complete Pokemon applique screen. A couple of things happened today related to the car accident on Saturday. And then my taxes, and then all sorts of things, and then I did all this. So I got my new camera in 2 days earlier than I was expecting it. It actually came this morning, and the new setups, the new structures, so yeah, 3-camera system. I'm excited. So I can actually show you, as I'm sewing here, along how it goes on the machine, so you can see how the machine works. You can see how I do my piecing. I also have a nice bird eye view of exactly what is going on, and it's not angled, and it's properly displayed, so you can see exactly what I see when I put things on my cutting table. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. So I am now doing my bobbins for the applique. And I think that is all I absolutely need. Fantastic. Okay. So, I've got the one I finished yesterday over here on my ironing board, so I am finishing this one up. I'm doing 2 Pokemon quilts at the same time. So, let me finish doing this. And this is just picking up exactly where I left off yesterday. As of now, I have not had a chance to upload it. I'm missing a piece. I'm missing the little thing. Huh. See, I told you I lose pieces easy. Well, let's see if it blew off anywhere. Nope, I do not see it. I may have to make another one. Well, in this case, let me find the whites. I am just going to pull, yeah, it looks like this one came out. And, yep, that one came out as well. I'm not sure what happened to it, because that is part of the exclamation point. Yeah, so anyways, like I was saying, I'm just going to pick up exactly where I left off yesterday, and then, and continue on from the applique, for the Pokemon applique quilts. As of right now, I have not had a chance to upload yesterday's videos yet, because, like I was showing you, I was super, super, super busy today. Alright, let's see if I can do this without moving the camera. Fantastic. So, I'm going to do some traditional applique. So, this is the piece that I need to redo. So, this is how you do it. This is the paper side, the smooth side. Oh, let me close that down so I can see the chat. Close that. There we go. Now I can see the chat. Fantastic. This is the piece that I'm doing. So I'm going to lay that across onto the paper side. Not the fabric side, the paper side. And let's just trace that in there. Great. Don't need that one anymore. And with paper scissors, because the applique paper will dull your fabric scissors, I'm just going to cut this out. Now it does not make a difference that I can see these pencil lines on here, because this is the paper side. It's going to come off. There we go. See, you can't see the pencils. So this one's not going to be as smooth as the other one, but it's going to work. There we go. Alright. Paper. At this point, I am just peeling off the papers, if they haven't been peeled off yet, and just setting the letters on there. Once I get all the letters on there, I'll put everything on place. Great. And like I said yesterday, whenever I do applique, I always measure everything. Try not to eyeball it. You always want to try to measure it because you want it to be even. You want it to be nice. I don't know if I like that. There we go. I was playing with the lighting as well, and I was figuring it out because I was getting a really bad glare on here, and I was trying to figure out why. It's because I had the regular lights on. I didn't turn the lights off with studio lights. So if I've had a glare on myself for the past few weeks, yeah, that's why. Alright, so I've got the... Great. Alright, that's iron. Now, when it comes to the applique, like I showed yesterday, I'm just going to do a quick press down to hold it in place. You don't want to go back and forth right away, or else you could move it. Now, once it's in place... Now I can actually iron and not have it move around. Here we go. Alright, and they're all ironed on. So now time for applique. So this is my QC 1000, the Quilt Club 1000. It is the predecessor to the Laura Ashley. This is what I do for all of my quilting and for all of my applique. I just like the applique stitches better on this. I think it's just a lot better. Oh, I put my gloves in the drawer, didn't I? Alright, ignore this camera for a minute, because I'm going to tilt you back so I can get my gloves out. Glove, glove, and back we go. Great. So these are my quilting gloves that I wear whenever I do quilting. I want to wear them for applique because it's grippy. It's really super grippy. So you can grip the fabric better and you can move it and you have more control over it. So whenever you're quilting or whenever you're doing applique, these are great things. Alright, I'm going to do the satin stitch. Yeah, this is my favorite applique stitch that I use. Yep. Oops. It is not threaded. It would help if I threaded it. Why are you not threading? There we go. Alright, and I want to... Alright, so I just programmed it to have an extra stitch in the beginning because I want to make sure that it really gets it in there whenever I first start sewing. There. And as I mentioned yesterday, I'm doing raw edge applique on this. So that means I did not turn any corners. I just cut out the letters and stuck them on here. Oh, that A is coming. Now, whenever letters are falling off, do some spot ironing to keep them on there. We don't want the letters falling off. Although one of those smaller applique irons Would probably be a little bit better than a big iron on your sewing machine. This is what I am doing for both quilts. I'm just going to trace around each of those letters. In fact, I'm going to do the A after this M, because that A keeps wanting to fall off, and I do not want it to peel off. Well, maybe I'll do that one first. You just have to be really gentle when you're doing small letters like this. Oops. I'm going to have to get used to having the camera there. Oops. Oh, I somehow got pencil. There we are. And let me secure the thread. Oh, yeah, so that is a little bit of dirt right here I'm going to have to get off. So here is the stitch. Yeah, you can see the dirt on there. I don't know where that came from. So yeah, so the stitches are all the way around the lettering, and it holds it on there. So you can't just iron it on, you have to sew it on. So there's a couple of different stitches that you can use for applique. If you haven't, oh hi Steve McQueen, how are you? If you haven't done applique before, the first time you do it, play with all the stitches on your machine. So these are quilting gloves. Whenever you are quilting or whenever you're doing applique, it moves the fabric around. So it's super sticky on the end, but it's not sticky on anything else except for fabric or to each other. So it really helps grip the fabric. So I don't have to slide around. So especially with quilting and applique, you really need to have a good grip on the fabric, because if it slips, you may not have a stitch exactly where you want it. As you can see, my camera came today for the third camera. So I got to play around with it, and this is the view that I see. So I was able to flip it to give you guys a better view. Alright, after this one I'm going to come over to that A, because the A is falling off. Now with this stitch, it actually goes forward twice, and then in once, back, then forward, in, and back. Because it can go in and back, I always hit the stitch on the machine before I go on to the next letter. If you don't reset the stitch, sometimes the needle will start in the middle over here someplace. And you don't want that to happen. So it may think that it's already there, and it'll start the stitching going, move out away from the letter. So if you're using a stitch on different things, always reset the stitch, is what I was trying to say. An applique is one of those things where it looks harder than what it is. It's really not that hard. If you do the needle turned applique, that's a little harder. That's where you actually take all of the edges and you turn it underneath, so you have a little bit of a seam right there, and you're actually sewing the seam onto it. That takes a lot longer and it's a lot harder to do. Now there is a way, there is a bar that I can actually put on my machine that I can use and kind of come down, and so when I lift my leg, I can lift the presser foot. Yeah, I haven't figured that out yet. I know there's a way to do it, but A, I need to find that bar. I have no clue where it is. And B, I need to figure out how it works. And I do applique so little. I only ever think of it whenever I'm doing the applique, because it would save me time of actually lifting up and putting down the presser foot. And then when I finish the applique, I completely forget about it again. Alright, let's lock it. That's the nice thing about this machine. It has, because it's a much better machine than the one I do all my piecing on, it locks the stitches and cuts them automatically. Alright, let's reset the stitch. Oh! I did not go inside my little A here. Now, this is sewn on, so I've actually put the stitches all the way around the A. You don't have to go in the center. It's you know, I mean, it may peel up a little bit. I always do it because you don't want any of this fabric to peel away at all. You really want to have a good solid stitch on there. Oh, and I forgot to mention the chat that's on there. You see a little bit more than the chat that's in here. Yeah, I was playing around with chat today because I was playing around with this new setup. So I did not clear it away before I started streaming, so you get to see what I was playing with. There we are. Now the A is done. Alright, so now let's go over to the E. Let's reset it. Sounds weird, but it's stitching fine. After this one, I'm going to rethread my thread, just because it sounds weird. Don't like the way that sounds. Alright, now when I get to this part, this is the first time where I've actually had the thread not get sucked under. So I want to trim it. You always want to trim any stray threads before you sew over them for applique. Because if you sew over it, it's going to be a lot harder to trim them and get rid of them. Under regular sewing, not a problem. Okay. Alright, let's rethread everything. Just to see. Oops. Now I am using white thread on top, white thread on bottom. You can actually see some of the white thread behind. And that's just because whenever I have my tension set, you can actually see a little bit of the thread underneath come up through. So I always do like to match my threads whenever it's something you can see. Okay, let's reset that. Yeah, it's still making the noise. So I'm going to change the needle next. And I need to trim the thread. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I don't feel any burrs or anything, but you never know. Okay, where are my... Alright, so I've got two different top stitch needles. Let's do the 80-12s. And I am using the chrome. So the needles, in fact I'll show you, are the Schmetz Chrome. So the nice thing about the chrome needles is, oh, I hate how you can't really tell the writing. That's okay. It's just chrome top stitch needle 80-12. So the nice thing about the chrome is it's got a coating on there. So especially whenever you're using it for applique or for other things, sometimes if you use a regular needle, the glue that I use to attach the letters to the backing will gunk up the needle, and you have to keep cleaning the needle, or you have to change the needle. With the chrome, you don't have to do that. The chrome actually has a coating on there that the glue and gunk and everything else just slides right off. It does not like this needle. And I'm going to have to thread it myself. There we go. Okay, where was I? Oh, that's right. I'm going to finish the letters in the bottom. So I've got two sets of letters. I've got the, yeah, in that case you saw whenever I reset it, the needle moved over. If I didn't reset the stitch, I would have started sewing and it would have gone completely away from my letter instead of gone in like I wanted it to. So I've got 2 sets of these white letters to do, and then I will start appliquing the Pokeball itself. I should be able to get through both quilts by 8:30. If I do and I have time left over, I'll start the quilt kits. The other thing the gloves do is it protects my fingers from wear, from lifting this stupid presser foot up and down. It is a pain, and your fingers get sore and chafed, and the gloves prevent that. After I finish sewing all of the letters on, I will switch it with the one behind me so you can see the stitching and the lettering. While I work on the next one. Now, resetting the stitch is something I learned the hard way. Because whenever I made that mistake and didn't reset it, I actually had to go back through and pull all those stitches out. It did not look good at all. So anything to help you guys. Now, no matter how much I finish this evening, Wednesday will be quilting day. So I will work on quilting everything. I'll pick up where I left off at the last quilting day whenever I broke my machine. And then I have 6 more quilts to quilt. I've got the 2 Amazon Warriors, the 2 Japanese Wood Spirits, and these 2 Pokémon. Plus a couple of camo quilts that I sold at the last few conventions. Alright, finished with them on the bottom. So now for the top letters. Now, whenever I stop going around the letters, I don't know if you can see very clearly the stitches, but whenever I finish, I actually go over the previous stitches a few times. I don't stop directly as I start. And I also make sure that I do go completely around. I want to make sure every single bit of that letter is stitched. It makes me happy those little threads show up on the camera. I have tried a few brands of gloves through the years. The biggest problem that I have little kid hands. I have a little kid head and a little kid hands. My head is tiny, my hands are tiny. Surprisingly, my feet are not tiny. I have average feet. So, I have a very hard time finding gloves that fit my hands. And I took a class from Jenny Lyons on free motion quilting a few years ago, and she had these gloves with her, and she said these are her favorite gloves for quilting. And I took a look, and sure enough, she had a pair of extra small. And I went, oh. And I tried them on, and they fit perfectly. So I bought a few pairs from her, and then I went and bought a whole bunch more. So I have like 5 pairs of these. So when they wear out, I have enough sitting there ready to go. Now you notice the black ball for the Pokeball in the center. I have the pins in there. It has been ironed on, but this is being man-handled. It's being, thrown around and turned while I iron on the letters. And so I don't want that to peel off and fall off, so I pinned it. You don't have to worry about the pins. It'll heal itself. Fabric will go snap back into place. So after I sew all of the letters, I will sew the black circle. When you're doing applique, you want to do all of each color at the same time. So I'm going to do all the white. So I'm doing the white for this quilt, and then I'll go back and do the white for the other quilt. I'll do the black for this one, then I'll go do the black for the other one. Now I apologize about this light right here. It's putting a glare on everything. I can't see without it. I tried playing around with the settings and turning it off so you could see better, but then I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, sometimes this little stray thread that you see me trimming sometimes gets sucked underneath. And if it gets sucked underneath, you don't have to worry about it. Some people trim the threads on the back of the applique. I don't. You're not going to see it. It's going to be on the inside of the quilt. It's not something you have to worry about. It's like the back of a cross stitch. You're never going to see it, but some people have absolutely amazingly perfect backs to the cross stitches. I don't. Oh! I didn't reset it. Okay, so this is what happens when you don't reset your stitch. My stitches, oh, you can't really see it, they're in the middle. So I have to now pick this out. Luckily, I caught it before I got too far. There you go. Didn't take too much. I hate it when I do that, and I go almost all the way around and go, really, Tony? Really? Yeah, see how my hands are slipping on the fabric and it's hard to move it? That's what the gloves do. Yeah, I don't know what I do to myself sometimes. Alright, I'm double checking that I reset that thing. Here we go. So when I finished my stream yesterday, I went to social media like I normally do to see what I missed during the stream. And they announced the new Doctor for Doctor Who. And I went, you know what? That makes sense because they had the Master regenerate as a woman. Why not the Doctor? And it's something that I haven't really put a lot of thought into, although I'm sure a lot of people have. But I think it'll be pretty cool. I'm interested to see where it goes. And whoever told me that the season got better and better last year, I did manage to finish the season. It was great. You're absolutely right. So I have been on the fence a lot about Doctor Who. It's kind of like, oh, I watch it just so I can keep current, you know, so I can talk to people about it. But I haven't really been enjoying it lately. Yeah, I enjoyed that season. That was nice. Okay, now I'm talking. Oh, there it is. See, now I started talking. I lost my scissors. But I found them. Alright, one more word after this one. I'm just double checking to make sure I did all of the centers and I got everything. I didn't skip anything. Nope, I'm good. You know, I'm sitting here thinking, I've got to stand and stretch after I do these letters. I may just move all of this back over to my ironing board and put my cutting mat there and stand and actually work on some quilt kits anyways. Just because this is a lot like quilting in that you got to take breaks. And I'm more hunched over than I normally am. And I can't help it because I'm trying to see exactly where those stitches are going. Unlike with free motion quilting, I can just kind of move things around, and as long as I keep my flow going, don't have to worry about it. Now you notice the needle will go in place a few times before it starts moving. That's a setting that I have on my sewing machine that actually locks the thread in place before it actually starts sewing. If you do not have that setting, make sure that you back the stitches up a few times. So basically you would sew forward and then sew back, sew forward again, and that'll lock your thread in place. Same thing when I finished. I push the button and it locks the thread a few times and then cuts it. So if you don't have that setting on your machine, you want to sew forward a few times. There you go. Sew forward a few times, sew back, sew forward again. Oops. Okay. Okay, remember resetting it. And I am using the dial on the side of my machine to make sure that my needle is perfectly placed before I start sewing. Now this one is going to look different than the one in the picture because that is the one that I did completely freehand. So the lettering, the Pokeballs, everything on that one, I traced and cut out with my own two little hands. They're little. This one, of course, in yesterday's stream, I used my brother's scan and cut. So all of the lines are more accurate. It took me a lot less time. I still designed it all. I drew it all and designed it on my computer screen, but then just transferred it to the scan and cut and had it cut out. So you'll notice it's going to look a lot different than what's on the screen. I'm also going to do different borders. I haven't decided what yet. Decide when I get there. Now I am going to do a stream either Thursday or Friday during the day. I just haven't decided which day yet. because I always want to do at least one daytime stream a week, if I can. You notice for the O, I'm just straightening out the fabric again. I'm not stopping to lift the presser foot every single time. I'm just turning the fabric. And as it starts to get bunched up, then I'll lift it up and fix it. You can turn the fabric as you sew on your applique. You don't have to have it perfectly straight. You don't have to have it nice as you go. And that's something that just takes time and practice. But like I said, if you are going to applique something, play with the stitches on your machine. Practice with just some fabrics, some scrap fabrics. Cut out one in a picture, put it on applique paper, and stick it on another. Yeah, postcards are, fabric postcards are a good way to practice. Or maybe miniature quilts. Just find some way to practice it so that whenever you go to your nice quilts, you've already got your practice. In fact, whenever I first learned applique, I made a few quilts as gifts before I would even consider doing it for money. Now what I'm doing, and I haven't mentioned this yet, whenever I finish the letter and I move on to the next, you'll see me lean over and look. I'm looking for two things. Number one, that I've stitched it all the way around and I haven't missed anything in the lettering. The second thing I'm looking for is skipped stitches. If your machine skips a stitch as it does the applique, that means one of two things. It means your needle needs changed. Maybe your needle's starting to get dull and it's not hitting, catching it. Your thread may need to be redone, rethreaded, either on the top or the bottom. Or it's too thick. If you have too many layers and it's too thick, sometimes the needle you're using just can't get through that. So instead of just changing the needle, you need a completely different needle. So a different needle type, maybe a leather needle. Of course, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, man, I need to figure out how that presser thing works. Oops, my needles keep coming out. There we go. My pins keep coming out. Come tomorrow, I'll forget all about it. There we are. All right, so my lettering is finished. So I still haven't done the black, but all of the words are sewn on there. And I need to stand for a bit. So I'm just going to switch this out here. Oh, my back. Oh. Phew. Oh. Yeah, that's better. No, I don't like the shadows, though. It's fine. So, let's put this over here. Yeah. I need, with this new setup, I think I need another professional light on here. Because here's the problem. Here's my, my daylight. It's way too bright. Alright. So, all my ironing is simple, so I'm just going to do it on my ironing board now. There we go. Alright, so there's my Pokemon pieces. I'm going to set you guys right here, out of the way. And scissors. I won't need you. Alright, on my list, let's see. Quilt kits. I need... Oh, you know what? I'm going to cut some of the panel quilts that I'm going to make that I sold at the last convention. So I thought I sold all of my Pokemon panel quilts. Yeah, I found more. I was super excited. So here's something I was thinking about sewing to the top or the bottom of these quilts, but I haven't decided yet. I'm going to see how it looks. It's just a border that was on this. Yeah, so I'll do this before I start doing kits. Love this fabric. I haven't even had it a year. Alright, so 1, 2, 3. See, and just by doing this is stretching my back out. And 4. So I'm going to have my cut right here. So I'm just going to cut a little farther down. Side. If you just popped on, I am just taking a break between sewing letters for the Pokemon quilt. So I am cutting out panel quilts so I can pin and then quilt on Wednesday's stream. There we go. Yeah, these are super cute. Look at this panel. Isn't this super cute? And it just repeats it twice. I love it. Alright, there's one. Let me do at least one more. And then I'll get back to doing the applique. See, that's what I was thinking, is that maybe I can put this along the bottom or along the top. We'll play around with it. It depends what fabric we choose for the borders. I have a couple of different options. I really wish I could find more of this fabric someplace. I have searched everywhere. Like, I don't even mind paying full price. I don't have to pay the wholesale price. I will pay almost any amount to get my hands on more of this because it is just amazing fabric. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this will be the last one. Oh, this feels good stretching my back. Alright, and I have a second one. Super cute. Alright, back to applique. So I did the lettering for the first Pokemon quilt. Now I'm going to do the lettering for the second one. Because I don't want to switch my thread yet, because I want to do all of my white thread at the same time before I move on. So after I finish all the lettering for here, I'll move on to sewing down the black circle. So I'll switch it to the black thread and I'll do it for both of them. Alright, are there any that are peeling off this one? Ah, are you kidding me? I hit the wrong one. When I reset the stitches, I chose the wrong stitch. Alright, so let's pick it out. Alright. I would lock it into place, but I need to reset it every single time, so I don't want to do that. There we go. Alright, it is all picked out. So let's try this again. Alright, I've got the right stitch this time. Yeah, it started to sew and I went, what are you doing? There it is. That is the stitch that I want. It is a blanket stitch. Now I always search, and that's what I was doing for the other quilt as well, to see if there's any letters that are in danger of coming off, starting to peel off. I want to sew those down first, because I don't want to lose them as I'm working on the other lettering. A dog must be walking by. The nerve of other dogs walking by our house. Right? Okay, I'm just going to work backwards. Because I think that was the only one that was really starting to peel off. Now this is the long, tedious part of this quilt. Because I don't have to draw out all the pieces and cut them out myself. That used to be the long, tedious part. Now, sewing all the letters is a long, tedious part. The TARDIS that I make, my double-sized TARDIS, the applique letters that I do at the top are almost the same, although there's really not as many as there is in this quilt. I guess now, it's about the same. But the public call part of it is so tiny, it is very, very tedious. I have one double-sized TARDIS left. When I sell that one, I'll make another one on stream. Oh, so I never said what was wrong with my machine. So, apparently, last time I had a quilting day, when I hit the safety pin, I did bend just a little bit, something up the shaft up in here, and that caused the needle to just be off just a touch. And because the needle was off just a touch, every now and then, I hit the bobbin case. But it's all fixed. Oops, I didn't mean to bump the camera, sorry. So it's all nice and clean and fixed. And although he said that there's a piece up in here someplace that is cracked, it still works. It's not broken. but it is cracked. So that means that one of these days, when my machine just stops working, that's why. And he said it's a few $100s and he has to order it, so I should probably just wait until it happens. Seriously, Tony, why do you do this? When you reset your stitches, make sure you pick the right one. Go. There. Number 12. Not number 11. Now you notice how my G is starting to come up a bit? That's just because of all the manhandling I've been doing with just whipping the quilt around everywhere. It will wear away. So the glue is not, it's not permanent. It's just a temporary glue to keep the letters in place until you can sew them. So always, always, always sew your applique down. It doesn't matter what stitch you use, just sew it down. Almost made it around. There we go. I like that camera so much better now. The only problem is you'll notice this wire, this cord right here. I do not have a USB extension cord long enough to have the camera be up there. So I've got to go get one. So in the meantime, I have a tripping hazard in my room. So I have to step up over that when I go in that direction. Okay, my G is really starting to move around a bit. Here we go. All I did was peel it off and iron it back on. And that just keeps it there until while I sew it. Oops. Not really well though, because I couldn't apply a lot of heat because plastic board. Oh yeah, this is my, I love this table. My big nice glass extension table by So Steady. It's so cool. I love my new extension table. I picked it up in May. This is only the second time I've been able to use it. The first time was the last quilting day. I didn't get to use it for very long because it broke my machine. But no, it is a super cool table. I really like it. Oh my gosh, why are you moving around so much? Alright, after this, I want to check my bobbin thread. Because I just realized I haven't checked it lately. I do not have a bobbin thread sensor on this machine, so it is super easy for me to run out of thread. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can do the next set without the light, so you can see it better. Alright. Yeah, you can definitely see that better. I can't see it better, but it shows up better on the camera. And when I'm putting the needle down, I'm putting it, whoops, right on the edge. Alright, so my letters are trying to shift on me. So I need my fingers for this without the gloves. There we go. And cut this while I'm here. And get the gloves back on for more control. That's the only problem with having the gloves on, is I can't use my fingernails to get in there and hold pieces sometimes. Oops. Oh, and I didn't mention it. Remember I said before that the machine was making noise, and so I changed the needle? The needle was the problem. So it stopped making the noise after that. I am super excited. So I have been streaming every single day for the past couple days. Oops. Come on. There we go. And very happy to do it. I'm happy that I'm able to schedule it. But I'm not streaming it tomorrow at all because I'm teaching a sewing class. So I am super excited about that. I'm going to be teaching how to make old-fashioned 50 hair ties. So that'll be a lot of fun tomorrow. I always get super energized when I teach classes, especially tomorrow's a kids class. I love teaching those kids how to sew. Oh, I must have hit the needle up instead of the back button. I'm like, why did I only just do one stitch? Alright, 2 more words. Catch and awl. And then I will stand, cut some more panel quilts, and then I'll switch to the black thread. This is actually the best word to applique for the entire quilt because it's the easiest. Those L's and that exclamation point are super easy. Iron Bands Graham, how you doing today? I saw the foam armor attempt, or whatever, however armor attempt that you had on your Facebook and Instagram. Nice start. I should just say hi, Timmy. Because I do know your name. Alright, one more word. So I just have to applique the catch on there. So have you decided, are you going to Twitch stream any of the armor making with your grandson? Bless you. Bless you. I just realized I did not check my bobbin thread like I was planning on doing. I got distracted somehow. Alright, so let's do that now. No, I'm good. I don't know why I wound like 3 bobbins. 1 is plenty. Now, after I get this lettering done, it goes pretty fast. So after I get the lettering applique done, I'll stand up, cut some more panel quilts, stretch out, and then I'll switch the cutting mat out for the towel again. So you can see how I iron on the applique pieces to be sewn. Chat is really quiet today. Just looking at the lights and the shadows. I got to play with it. With the new setup. 3 more letters. Always changing and tweaking and moving. Cat, don't you dare jump over here. Alright, she's not. I had a little stray thread in there. I just had to pull out. No, not at all. I figured since she didn't answer the question that something happened. Third camera. I got 3 cameras now. I got that. Oh, there it is. And look, and it's live. It's from my point of view. I'm super excited how I figured that one out. And my husband got into a car accident Saturday. I had to deal with all that stuff. Lovely. So are you going to Twitch stream the stuff with your grandson? Yeah, no, he's fine. For the car accident, it's, everyone is fine. He is fine, Jordan's fine, and the lady that hit him is fine. But a lady ran into the back of my truck going full speed. So the entire back of the truck is destroyed. And I have a convention next weekend. So I'm picking up a rental truck tomorrow, and I'm hoping it has a trailer hitch. If it doesn't, and if my truck isn't back by then, I have to go rent one. Okay, good. Tell him I want to see you guys doing it, because I have been looking forward to it. Oh. My super moderation denied your swearing. What was that the swearing for? Oh, you mean the accident for the truck? Yeah, I know, right? Not very happy with it, but luckily everyone's okay. No one's hurt. So tell your grandson, I have been looking, tell your grandson, I have been watching your Twitch, hoping to see you guys do the cosplay stuff. Doing the armor. So let me know whenever you're going to stream it. Because I want to see it and I want to host it. So I think that'll be super cool. Last letter. Oh, finally. I hate appliquing letters. It is such a pain. The Pokeball is going to be so much easier. Okay, cool. I'll try to keep an eye out for it. If I stream Saturday, it'll probably be in the morning. So that won't conflict if you guys do it in the evening, or the afternoon or evening. That's so cool that he's going to a quilt show with you. That makes me happy. What, okay, yeah, I'll keep an eye on it. What material did you guys use for the arm bracer? Did you decide to play with the Warbler, or did you use something else? Oh, done. Alright. Let me change thread to the black. Oh, that's awesome. See, I know about a lot of it because I have friends that are cosplayers and they tell me all this stuff all the time. But I have no clue what the process is. So you do the foam mat and then the Warbler goes. That's really cool. I'm excited to see it. I've got Wednesday evenings. I have a friend of mine that actually runs Warbler.com. She Twitch streams every Wednesday evening. It is Cosplay Supplies, I think is her Twitch name. Okay, so I'm going to stretch for a few minutes and cut out more panel quilts. Let's see how many more. I think I can get 2 more out of this. I love this stuff. I can't find it anymore. I'm so upset. Craft foam on top of the mat foam. Oh, okay. I wish they would reprint this fabric. It is so awesome. If I sit at the machine too long, my back starts to hurt. I am probably, yeah, 7:09. I'm probably not going to get to the quilt kits and dice bags tonight, but you never know. And this is really all I do for my panel quilts. I just cut the panels out. I don't add borders. I don't do anything special. I just cut the panels out, slap it together, quilt it, and bind it. So there's 3. I think I can get a 4th one. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, awesome. So I've got 4 more of these panels, and then they are completely gone forever. And then I gotta figure out something to do with this border fabric. I may put it on this Pokemon quilt, like I said earlier. After I do my borders and we pick what I'm gonna do, I'll see how this looks, either at the top or the bottom. Perfect. Alright. I'm just going to take all this and toss it out of the way for now. And there's 4. And that has stretched my back, so I can now do the black. Alright, so I'm going to switch out, remember, makeshift ironing board. If you need a makeshift ironing board, use a towel. There we go. Alright, I've got black, black. Okay, I've already redone that. I did not thread. Nope, I gotta manually thread it. Alright, it's a good thing I pinned this because the edges are starting to come up. So, give it another quick iron. All I'm doing is going around the circle. I'm not doing anything special with this. But I do want to make sure I get all the dirt, dust, debris off of there. Because I don't want to sew it into the applique stitches. Wouldn't be good. Oh, here we go. Oh, I have to thread it. It is the hardest thing whenever I teach classes to new sewers and I have to thread their machines, especially the kids' classes, when I have to thread their machines and I've got to be like, don't lick it. Don't lick the end of the thread. Because you never know if the person that is using the machine is a germaphobe. Or if that would just gross them out. Okay, I almost had to turn the light back on so I could see, but I got it. Now this one is a very simple stitch. All I'm going to do is do the same stitches I have been doing, but just around in a big old circle. Oh, Timmy, I was talking about you on my stream yesterday or Saturday. I had a bunch of quilters. They were super excited they saw a quilter on. I'm like, oh, they should go check you out. So I don't know if they ended up going over to your channel or not. I hope they did. You are welcome. Come on. There we go. I think I've got mine to set to host you automatically as well. But it's so weird how they do that algorithm sometimes. Like, I never know if it's going to actually host you or not. There we go. Alright, so now I've got a bunch of flyaways. I'm just going to come around here and trim them all up before I do the next step. That is the only drawback to the raw edge applique. You've got raw edges. But a lot of this with the black, I'm not concerned because it's going to get hidden. with the parts of the Pokeball that I do. Okay. That one is all done. Let's take the pins out of this one. Now, normally, I would put the black on, sew it on, and then go back and put the letters on. But I really wanted to show you in yesterday's stream how I do the lettering, and I didn't have the machine set up yet. So that's why I've done it a little bit backwards this time. So reset your stitches. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the kids' class I'm teaching tomorrow. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I should grab the hair tie that I'm going to teach them to make and show you guys. Super, super easy. A lot of the kids' classes that I do are basic, super beginner. Like these kids, a lot of them have never touched a sewing machine before. I love my new Sew Steady extended table. On my last table, this would have fallen off. And it would have stayed on. It's the first time I've done applique on it. I really like it. Glad I bought it. There you go. Black is done. That's it. That's all there is to it. Alright, so let's move on to red. So let's switch out the thread. And I am using a red bobbin thread as well as a red top thread, because the way that my tension is set, you can see a little bit of the bobbin thread coming through on the top thread. So this way, I do not have to worry about seeing the different colors. Nope. It's gotta be the needle that's not letting me do it. Alright, so I'm going to turn the light on so it's easier for me to see. Get in there. Go in your home. You want to be in your home. There you go. See? You yell at it. It goes. There we go. Alright, so I've got that. Alright, so applique. Now, in this case, I said that I was doing it a little bit differently. So, I want to bring up my picture of how I designed this one. There it is. Okay, so it does go this way. Oops. That did not. I try this one. It's gotta be the fabric. This red is not one of the Moda marbles that I normally use. I wanted to use up one of my old fabrics. Now, it's still a good, decent fabric. But I do not know who the maker is because I did not keep the bolt. So, let's squirt this way. There we go. That way I'm not fighting with it, making sure that the glue is on there. Now I'm not going to sew the white on there, but I do want to make sure that I put the white on there because I want to make sure the red is perfect before I iron it down to sew it. This is a trick that somebody taught me. Instead of dealing with the edges for peeling, just score the back just a touch, and you can get the backing off a lot easier. There we go. See what I mean? You're not going to see those edges of the black because that red's going to cover it. Here we are. Alright, I think that's where I want the red. And I am going to take the white off. I'm not going to iron it on at this point. I'm just going to iron the red. There. And while that's sitting there cooling, I'm going to do the next one. Oh, I don't think I squirted enough. Oh, there we go. See, if I would have gotten all the white lettering finished like I wanted to before the stream, I probably would have been done with the quilt by now and on to the quilt kits and dice bags. But life happens. Yeah, I really don't like that light over there. Okay. See, and that's better for this camera, but not for this camera. Let me change that and see what I can do. Haha. No, no, that's too much light. There we go. You just have this big, huge, bright spot right there, right? Ah, the joys of adding another camera and another layout. How much fun. Alright. Back to Appliqué. Tuck those little threads in, they'll get sewn in. This right here is where I love my Schmetz chrome needles. They do not get goopy at all going through this glue. They are fantastic. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to use any other needles again. Like, I love these needles so much. Mike, can you turn Summit down, please? My husband's watching Summit. And when I'm not sewing, that's all I can hear. There we go. The red is done. Just as simple as that. Oops. Sorry about that. Oh, I just realized I turned the light on to thread it, but then I forgot to turn it off for you. So I apologize. So Wednesday is quilting day. So I will, oh yeah, like you've seen the Roll Paper Inspira. Yeah, no, it's not just the Schmetz, but the I only now use Schmetz Chrome. So the chrome ones. I mean, they're fantastic. I love these things. I was actually using another needle and constantly cleaning it when I was doing applique. And then I met Rhonda Pierce, the rep from Schmetz, at VDTA in Vegas. And she showed me all of the needles, and she actually explained to me the differences in a lot of the different needles. And she showed me why the chromes are different than their regular Schmetz, and I'm like, okay, I'll try them out. Oh, couldn't find my scissors. And so I immediately came back and tried them, and I'm like, sold. I love them. Oh, I was going to say, the Wednesday stream is quilting stream. So I will either switch it to a 2-camera setup, or I will have 3 cameras and have one of the cameras on the cat or the dogs. Have an animal cam. See what the cat does. Alright, red is done. Now we go back to white. And I am almost done with the applique. I'm super happy. Sometimes when you're pulling the thread through a machine, it may not feel right. If that happens, just flip it over. Yeah, that's much better. Sometimes I have found spools of thread like to be unwound one way and not the other. Let's see if I can do this without the light. Haha, first try. Perfect. Okay, let's get the last bit of white on there. Oh, that's why I had my scissors over here, because I was scoring the backs. I may actually switch that camera and that camera, the one here, because I don't like how that one goes blurry. I'll play with them. Here we are. So I'm just making sure that it's laid out exactly where I want it to be. And now for my Pokeball center. Ta-da! The last time I did this, I actually cut out that center circle myself. I got smart this time and did it on my scan and cut. That way it's even. Nice. I love the way that looks. There you go. And I do everything in twos. So whenever, unless I'm designing a new quilt, I will more than likely make two of everything. Or if I have a commission. Yeah, I like the overhead camera because it's easier for me to see how it looks as well. There we go. Alright, let's sew them. And then it's border time. It's time to pick up fabrics for the borders. Alright, I'm going to do the big one first. Let me do it out here. Now we're just getting rid of some stray threads. I do not want to sew them into the applique. Now I do, for the ring, I have to go the outside and the inside of the ring. See? I thought to actually look behind me this time. How am I going to get that light looking better? Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll play with it tomorrow after my class. This is what I was doing the entire day today. Oh, have a fantastic night. Thanks for swinging by. Like, I was playing with the cameras, with the lighting, with everything the entire day today. And last stitch, and then all of the applique for this quilt will be finished. Like I said before, it's just the letters that are tedious. And it is, the main part of it is finished. Alright. I'm going to switch this. back to the cutting mat because the next step is the borders. Sorry, I'm just thinking about the lighting. So the lighting for this and for this are perfect. I may just have to suck it up. Oh well. Oh, I covered it so you can't see. Yeah. I just sewed the back of the quilt. So I have to undo all those stitches because I was not paying attention. Why do you do this to yourself? Alright, so I guess I'll tell a story while I'm sitting here picking out stitches. Because it's a lot of them. So the first time I did an applique quilt, it was a baby quilt. I did a Sunbonnet Sue baby quilt for my niece. And it was needle turned applique. So I followed the directions exactly how it was. It actually turned out pretty good. So then came time to actually sew the pieces onto the quilt, and the machine kept skipping the stitches, and it would drive me crazy. I could not figure out why the machine was skipping stitches. Well, the only time I ever changed the needle was if the needle broke. I didn't understand you had to change the needle, and I didn't understand the differences in threads. I didn't understand differences in needles. I used the same type of needle, universal, for everything. So I did not use the correct needle for the applique, for quilting. Oh yeah, no. Some of my early stuff is so rough. I mean, I really didn't learn about needles until February. Whenever I met Rhonda and she taught me. Like, oh. I mean, of course, I saw all the differences of the needles in the store. So I knew there was different needles for different things, but I didn't realize there's different needles within your own sewing and quilting. What I'm doing right now, this is why when I do quilting day, I do that basting stitch all the way around to hold the back. Because I wish I could say this is the first time I've done this. You'd think I'd learn. Hey, it's free. And this is why I love this seam ripper. So I did, and if you didn't see it, Yesterday, July the 16th, I wrote a poem and put it on my Facebook page called Ode to My Seam Ripper. Because, yeah. You know what? I'm going to read it now. Let's read my Ode to My Seam Ripper. Yeah, Facebook's taking a while to load. There we go. See, normally it takes a lot longer to pull stitches, to pull all of the loose threads once you've seam ripped it. Freaking love the seam ripper. So, seam, oh, do. Seam ripper, oh seam ripper, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and to the breadth of height. I cannot bear when you are out of sight. For the ends of stitching and lace may sometimes not give me grace. Most quiet need by sun and candlelight. You make those mistakes just right. Yeah, it's not the best. But that's okay. I couldn't find one I liked, so I just wrote my own. And yes, half of the words are from the original sonnet. I just replaced them and plugged it in where I needed. Alright. Back to sewing on the white. Sorry, I had a piece of thread there. I just had to get out of the way. Twitch back on. Now I can see chat. Two more sets, and I am done applique. Alright. Appliqué is all done. Now, I said in my notes, I'm doing a 4-inch border. Okay, so let's pick our border. Let's see. I've got 2 choices. I have that one, and I have this one. So, I can either go Pokeballs with all the different styles, or Pokemon. Now, if I do this, oh my god, it's so long. If I do this, probably do it along the bottom. Kind of like this one better. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Yeah. Let's go white Pokemon. Alright. I think... What did I cut the length of this? I cut the length 36 and a half. So... I can cut 8. So I'm going to cut 8 4 inches. I'm going to use my stripology ruler. Oops, wrong lines. And where up there? I know where my rotary cutter was. Okay, let's go a little bit more over. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's for one quilt. One, 2, 3, 4. Although I really can put this away. Is someone here? Well, I am. Do you mean someone in chat? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. All right, I am done with that. So let me put that fabric away. Now, I'm going to do the fabric along the right and the left before I do the top of the button. My chat tends to go quiet and then super busy, and then quiet and then super busy. I can never tell whenever people are going to be in there talking. Alright, let me put my steam back on my iron because I'm not using applique anymore. I'm just doing regular stitches. Alright, and I have right there. Now this is a border, so I do want to use pins to hold this in place. I'm not sure what you're asking. Yes, I have a lot of them. And let's trim this. Alright, and I'm doing the same thing to the other side. So I've got this, the border on that side, so now I'm going to do the border on this side. So whenever you do borders, you do left and right. Remember, I'm doing 2 quilts. So I'm going to put the borders on the left and right of this one, and then put the borders on the left and right of the other one. No, actually I don't do any show and tells on my streams. My streams are about teaching how to sew and teaching how to quilt. There we are. Now the trimming that I'm doing here along the edges, that is not, well, I guess we could use, no, Bulbasaur's head's cut off. If I can use them a little bit, then I would do that. Oh. Okay. I apologize about that. There we go. Okay. Unfortunately, there are some people on Twitch that don't want to use it for what it's supposed to be. Alright, so this is the left and right again of this quilt. So this is quilt number 2 that I am putting the borders on the left and the right. And I'll make a decision for this, for the trim, after I get these borders on, to see if it's going to look good at all. Okay, that squirrel's kind of cute, so I'm going to save that scrap fabric. See, if I feel that I can use a scrap fabric for anything like a English paper piecing or anything else, I'll save it. If I don't feel that I can use the scrap fabric for anything at all, that's when I'll pitch it. And I will bring my entire scrap bin with me to Gen Con. So if you or someone you know is taking one of my classes on English paper piecing, they will be able to go through my bin and go through the fabrics and pick whatever they want. Yeah, and like I said at the beginning of the stream yesterday for the Pokemon quilts, I changed them every single time. So I probably won't do this layout again the next time I make these quilts, because it's not something that I pattern, it's something that I make and sell just for conventions. Okay, now I do want to change my foot, so I have my J foot on here now. Let me grab my 1/4 inch piecing foot, because that is the one I want to change it to. I'm missing a couple 1/4 inch piecing foots. Alright, scrap fabric. Where are you, scrap fabric? I lost my scrap fabric. Alright, let's grab another one. Alright, so I had to change my stitch. I'm just going to do a standard straight stitch, the number 1. Oops. Yep, right. And scissors. Sorry, didn't mean to bump the camera. And you notice how I just fed in the other side? So I sewed half of it. Oops. Yep, there goes my red thread. And then I just fed in through the other side. So you don't have to put your scrap fabric in. You do not have to sew something else. If you're sewing borders on, just put the other side in there. Next one. Yeah, you notice how with the 1/4" seam, this right here is a guide foot. So this piece of metal, I'm actually taking my fabric and I'm putting it right against that piece of metal. So by putting it right there, I'm actually allowing the fabric to touch that metal. And that is what's giving me a 1/4" seam. So I can put the fabric right up against there. I don't have to worry about looking at the plate to see where that 1/4" is. I don't have to worry about measuring. I can look up as I sew. I can look all around. Because as long as that fabric is touching that metal plate, I'm sewing a 1/4" seam. Oh, and I've already done the other side. Fantastic. Let me split it. And scrap fabric. Now take the pins out. So whenever you do borders like this, does not make a difference which way you iron your seams. There's one school of thought that says you always iron it towards the darker fabric. There's another that says always iron your seams open. I don't care about either of those, because whenever I iron my seams open, I feel that it actually takes away from the integrity of the quilt. So I actually iron mine away from the quilt top because I iron the smaller piece away from the bigger piece. Just like that. Here we are, there's that one. Oh, I didn't take the pins out of this one yet. That would help. You do not want to iron your seams if you have pins in there. Yeah, I like this white fabric. I like this better than the Pokeballs. I think if I found the fabric, it does exist, but I haven't been able to find it. The fabric that has all the Pokemon characters on black fabric. I think if I'm able to find that one, that would look even better. But I do like the white characters. I think they look nice. Alright, so now I want to trim these edges. So this spot right here, I have this overhang of this fabric. So I want to trim it. Where did I put my... There it is. So I'm just going to line it up and trim the edge off. I'm going to do that for all 4 edges for both quilts. First quilt. I'm going to set that aside. now the top and the bottom. I had stacked everything on my ironing board, but I don't want to do that because I need to iron the strips. Whenever you're adding borders on, you should always iron them out. Because if you have any wrinkles or folds or anything like that, it may affect how it lays on your quilt. So, iron them before you put them on there. I think I'm going to finish right on time. I'm actually not going to pin the top and bottom borders to the other quilt because I want you to see a completely finished applique quilt. And I haven't decided if I'm putting that bottom border flag thing on yet. Oh. Gonna hide my gloves underneath. That's the nice thing about this table. I can hide stuff underneath it. Pretty cool. I should do the obligatory do as I say, not as I do, and don't sew over your pins. If you sew over your pins, you could damage your sewing machine. You could cost yourself repairs. Yeah, this is why my machine's in the shop all the time. Because I'm not very nice to it. Oops. Alright, let's trim the corners and I will show you the finished quilt and make the decision if I'm going to put that other fabric on it. There you go. So, finished applique Pokemon quilt. Yay! Okay, let's see how that looks along the bottom. See what I mean? I think the black would stand out better, would look better. Alright. Well, that and that would get cut off. Let's move this up because it would be right there. No, doesn't look good. Yeah, I don't like the way that looks. Again, if it was the black, it may look good. But no, I'm not going to use it. So, this is getting set aside for right now, but it may go into the scrap bin. I haven't decided. So, someone on my Patreon account may get it. You never know. So, that's it for today then. So I will finish off the other quilts on my own time. I'm going to be pinning quilts Wednesday morning. I may be doing a Twitch stream for pinning. I haven't decided yet. I will, because I'm going to be at the Family Center tomorrow teaching that kids class. So after I teach the class, I will play with the setup and see what I can do and see if I can do a live stream. Maybe bring one of my tripods with me and see if I can get to work. So yeah, I'll see you Wednesday no matter what, because Wednesday night is quilting day. So I will work on my quilts then, and as always, I will load up everything to YouTube so that you can go back and rewatch any of the techniques, anything that you want. And thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Thanks for popping by. Thanks for keeping me company. I will see you guys Wednesday.